All right. A moment here. And I will be ready. Not quite ready yet. All right. Here we go. Yeah. All right. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Finally got on at a decent time and kind of a little somber and sad about what I saw last night with the Celtics. Not that I'm a Celtics fan. I could actually care less about the Celtics, but you hate to see star players go down. And the way Jayson Tatum hit the floor last night, it's kind of looked like what you would get if you had something like a ACL tear. What do you call it? Achilles. And he didn't even, the foot that got hurt wasn't the one that put the pressure on. It was like when he extended with the left leg, his right leg went out, right foot. And the way he was crawling around the floor makes me think something is broke. I don't think he's coming back for the playoffs. And if he doesn't, then the Celtics don't stand a chance of coming back in the series. Egghead. Wouldn't you like to know? Got nothing else to do but come on here and bother me. But Tatum, superstar, he had a marvelous night last night. He had like 7 3-pointers, and he was going shot for shot with Brunson last night. And I think if he hadn't got hurt, my prediction of the Celtics going 4 straight against the Knicks would have come true. But if he can't play, then I don't see how the Celtics are going to be able to come out of this. Nicola, who are you? Well, who are you? Man, I don't care about that JJ's bait shop. What you have here is a bunch of cowards that come on and have nothing else to do. They take shots at people because they can't see who they are. If they have the guts to come and show their face and identify themselves, then we can address it from that point. But, if you're just taking shots behind the curtain, it doesn't matter what they say. So it doesn't matter. But no problem. Let me take care of that real quick. Interrupting my show with all this. Right. Okay, that's not what I want. Okay. All right. JC, how you doing, man? That's a massive head, old son. Again, another coward. Got nothing else to do but to come in here and bother me. So I'm not worried about it. But yeah, Tatum had a great game last night, and it's just a shame to see him go out like that. And with the way that Brunson was hitting his shots on the other side, it would have made for a great ending if Tatum would have been able to finish that game. But as he was laying on the floor, and you look at the players for the Celtics just looking around, it's just like their whole existence for being in the playoffs just went away. They just kind of knew if this guy here cannot play, then there's no way we can win this series. And it was just like somebody being sentenced to death, a life in prison or something. And it wasn't good. Appreciate that, JJ's bait shop. But like I said, yeah, it's a bunch of cowards out here talking crazy, but I don't pay that any mind. I got JC on again. Good morning. And yeah, it's kind of tough on the Celtics right now. But you still can't count them out, because I've seen players roll around on the floor like that before. And while it might look overly critical, it may not be what they fear it to be. He was in great pain now, but that doesn't mean that he can't bounce back from that and return for game 6. Game 5, I mean. But the Celtics, they're going to fight either way. They'll just make some minor adjustments. They just won't have Tatum. And basically what it's going to look like is the first game or two when Tatum was struggling. So struggling and not there is pretty much the same thing. So it's still going to be a competitive game. The Celtics still a better team. The Knicks won't have that crowd to feed off from in Game 5. And if they're able to win Game 5 and they get some somewhat good news about Tatum, then they can bounce back. But if you notice, and I don't know if you guys have, the way Tatum reacted when he went down, it seems he knows it's something major. Yeah, he did look that part. I'm thinking Achilles. It's probably the Achilles is what he's got, somewhat like Damian Lillard. They fell in a similar fashion moving forward. But if you've been paying attention, all right, Jay, have a good day, man. Appreciate you subscribing. If you've been paying attention, the series in the East are both going the same way. The favorite team, the top seeded teams, they lost the first two games the same way. The other team came back and stole it from them. Then in Game 3, they went on the road and blew the team out. Then in Game 4, they both lost Game 4, losing their stars in the process. So I guess you could say how Donovan Mitchell bounced back could be a precursor to how Jayson Tatum bounced back. And if the Cavs win tonight, then you can expect the Celtics to win the following night. That's just the way this series has been going. Everything that seems to happen in one series happens in the other. And now that Tatum has been hurt, that is critical to the Celtics. I don't know if he's able to bounce back, but the Celtics have enough scores on their roster that they can adjust for some of that. Now, it's a little bit different from what you see with Golden State, with Curry being out, because the players that normally get those open spot-up shots, that would be taken away by simply playing a man-to-man defense on them. Because if you aren't the same type of player as Curry and your whole game depends on being able to find an open spot to post up, and if you can't get that, then it's going to be more difficult for you to get your points. Take Buddy Hield, for example. I would say Draymond Green, he comes out early in the game and he hit those three-pointers. Why not have him shoot 2 or 3 three-pointers a quarter? He's not doing a whole lot on the boards. Why not? And then last night with Jimmy Butler, I don't know what's up with Butler. He might be hurt himself. But that was a prime opportunity for Butler to step up the same way that Brunson and Tatum stepped up last night, but he didn't do it. He's still looking to pass the ball to guys that aren't bona fide scorers, and it's kind of puzzling why he would do what he's doing. But I think the guy is a little bit hurt. Either that or is exhausted from the other night. But a professional basketball player should be rested up after 2 days. All New York needs is one game. I don't think Boston will sweep all 3 games from New York. It all depends on the health of Tatum. And even if he's lost for the season, if the injury is not so massive that he won't be able to bounce back immediately, that would be good news for the Celtics. But if they find out that it's something that's going to stretch into most of next year, that just might be too much of an emotional toll for them to get over. But the series is still not over. The Celtics are the better team. But basketball, the nature of it, if the other team is hitting those shots and they get that, because if you watch the game last night in the fourth quarter, it's almost like New York had to shoot over 70%. And I don't care who you're playing or who the team is, they're going to be hard to beat if they're shooting over 70%. They just weren't missing anything. Whatever shot Brunson threw up, it was going in. And that's the same time that the Celtics started missing. But the Celtics misses were normal. The fact that the Knicks were making all those shots is eerily similar to what happened in the first 2 games. They just didn't miss. And if a basketball team is not missing, it's going to be hard to beat them. All right, how you doing, Curtis? But the question is, do you think Tatum, is he done for the season? Most of you so far right now saying that he is. And it's just rough if you're a Celtics fan. And I'm not. I like Tatum. Tatum's a great player, and he was showing it last night. And I just wanted to see a better ending to the game than what we saw. All right, Ty says it has to be the Cavs. I don't want to see the Pacers that far again. What you got against the Pacers, Ty? When you say that far again, I think they went to the finals one time. Unless you're talking about the ABA days when they actually won the ABA. But I think they went to the finals with Reggie Miller against Shaq one year. That was a mismatch. They weren't going to win that. So if that's what you don't want to see again, you don't have to worry about that too much because Shaq is not around. Not enough star power for me. Well, the thing about the Pacers, they're a young team and they feed off the crowd. And they don't tend to be that good of a road team. They don't play the same level. And if they get that crowd behind them and they get that pace going that they like, then it can be difficult. But that's why it was so surprising that they were able to get those 2 games on the road. They just happened to catch Cleveland at a time when they weren't 100%, and things worked out for them in the end that they were able to come back and steal those 2 games. But all those are still self-inflicted wounds by the Cavs, just basic stuff like blocking out and getting rebounds and loose balls. That's something that they can control. And they didn't take care of that in the first 2 games. You get the split on the road, which is ideal, but losing the 2 at home is a killer. But I still think if Mitchell is able to play tonight, they're going to win that game. And then the series is going to be determined in Game 6. If whoever wins Game 6 is going to win that series. But the question is, can Mitchell get back on the floor tonight? Based on what I'm seeing from him, he's a throwback type player, meaning that he's truly trying to win a championship, not just playing for a paycheck. And when the playoffs start, his intensity rises along with his scoring average. He's trying to win. So what the old school part of that is, if he gets hurt or tweaked or anything, he's going to do whatever it takes to get on the court. And if they had stuff back in the 70s that they can shoot you up with and numb you out and let you finish the game, back then, they got some high-powered stuff now. So I expect them to get shot up and be on the floor tonight because this man here is trying to win a championship. And he's got to go now. There might not be no tomorrow if he don't play tonight. So we'll see about that. D-Nice 7180. You talking about Golden State? Well, you hadn't won it yet, but you did say 5 games. I give you credit for that. But you don't get no points for it if you do win the series because it's like knocking a man out with his hand tied behind his back. Yeah, you bad because the dude can't hit you with both weapons. But I got to give you credit for winning. But you got to imagine that, you guys don't look that spectacular. It's just right now you got the matchup advantage right now. Now, that's not to make an excuse for Golden State because they are a professional team and they can go out and get the kind of players that they need to be at the level that they want to be. So I don't make any excuse for that. So it looks like you might win in 5, but I don't know what's up with Jimmy Butler. He's going to have to do much better than what he did in Game 5. Otherwise, they're going to get blown out. But here's where the heart factor comes in about the NBA. They have a history of, we're down 3-1 or 3-0. We can't win this series, so let's just tank it and let's get on out of here, man. If that doesn't happen and they actually show up to play, then Golden State still has a chance to win. But you're right, D-Nice. You're on track for a 5-game series. All right. Wolves winning the ship. I told you, man, if you want to be a championship player, go get you NBA 2K or whatever it is. Put it on season mode, man. That's the only way you're going to get to the championship. Even if you get by this round, I don't see you matching up with Denver or OKC. And it just doesn't seem like Golden State, not Golden State, but Minnesota is strong enough to get to that level yet. And if they did get there, they're the kind of team that look like they might see the bright lights and freeze, kind of like TCU. TCU was worthy of being in a national championship game, but they got there too soon. And they weren't ready yet, and it showed. Same thing might happen to Minnesota. All right. Julian Shoring, I am an Army vet. Well, that's good. You'd probably be better off if you was an Air Force vet. But I will tell you this. If you did your 20 years in the Army, you earned every penny. All right, Ant-Man, do you have a good jumper? No, I can't play. I think Celtics breaking up next year is White and Kristaps signing long term. I think Porzingis is a very valuable asset to him when he's on, and I don't see that they want to get rid of him. And White, I would try to keep White, but Celtics got money problems, from what I understand. They got too many contracts, so they're gonna have to find a way to break up some of the things. Now, what they probably should have done was make a few adjustments to the championship team they had last year. But it's also a wise decision to have a team that won the championship to bring them all back. They're still in position to get what they want to get. It's just that it's going to be a tougher road now, especially with this star being down. So moving forward, I expect Porzingis to sign a little bit longer deal, maybe White on a shorter deal, but the person that might be going out of town is Brown. Brown's been around a while. The longer the player is with a team and he re-signs, the more money he's able to get. So the Celtics might part ways with him just to save a few bucks. Okay, D Knight say we beat Denver 9 in a row. Yeah, but did you beat them 9 in a row in the playoffs? Yeah, I'm tripping. I think Knicks got a championship team. Not sure why media doesn't think so. Well, they thought the Knicks had a championship team last year, and you see what kind of egg they laid. And until you come back and prove on a consistent basis that you're championship caliber, you're not going to get full credit. And that's what the issue is with the Knicks. Yes, they're up 3-1, but they hadn't really beat the Celtics. They're more of a opportunistic 3 wins that they have. Now, last night, Brunson, he was playing like he was a champion. And if you get Towns to up his game like he did last night, then the bench players coming in. But again, that's fueled by the crowd. What happens if you get in game 7 and you don't have that crowd to back you up? What are you going to do? Championship teams can play on the road. I don't care if you got 1 million people in the stands. They don't care. A championship team is going to win. Doesn't matter. Did they say whether or not if Curry were playing game 5? Well, again, I've had a hamstring strain before, and I had a calf strain before. If he had a calf strain, he's not going to play because it takes a couple weeks to get over a calf strain. But a hamstring pull, if you don't pull it all the way, you can come back in a couple of days. So I really don't know what the issue is with Curry, especially since he has a health team behind him to speed his recovery. There's no reason why he can't put a sleeve on. And if one is not enough, put 2 on. You can shoot that thing up. There's a lot of things that he can do. He wasn't moving that bad when he left. So if Curry really wanted to play, I think he can play. Now, again, the question is, will Golden State come into the game thinking they can win? I told you before, I would have brought Curry into the second half of last night's game to give his team a shot in the arm, and I wouldn't have told anybody what we were doing. It would just be me and Steph, this is what we're going to do. And that would have been a perfect opportunity for him to come in the second half to give his team some adrenaline. But I expect him to be out there in game 5. But if he's not out there in game 5, that let you know that Golden State don't have any intentions of trying to win this series, because it looks like Draymond Green, he don't want to play without Curry. And if Butler plays like he played last night, then they don't have a chance anyway. So if Curry steps on the floor, we got ourselves a game. If he does not, then that lets you know that Golden State is already folded the tent, and he's waiting on next year. I don't get into that kind of stuff. Zozo, how are you doing, brother? Nice to see you again. How you doing, John? I ain't seen you in a while. Pacheco, okay, I'm not getting to that. And out Negres, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's check this poll again. Most of you think that Tatum is done for the season. But the thing is, if you beat a team that lose their star, do you really feel like that you're a champion? Charlie Nuts, how you doing, man? I don't know, but I'll take you back to a story from high school. I had a guy on my team who was running track. He was one of the top 2 hurdlers in the state, the 110s. and it was a guy in Jacksonville. They would race several times during the year. Every time they race, one win this race and it's flip flop to the other guy the next race. We were in the same class. We were in the same region. And if you not understand what I mean, we have districts, and then you qualify to the district meet to go to region, and then they take the top 4 to go to state. But both these guys raced in the region, and they got 1 and 2. Our guy won that one, and they were going to race again in the state championship to see who wins. But in the prelims, our guy pulled a muscle after the race. So as expected, the guy from Jacksonville, he won the race and won the championship. His team also won the team title. The news people interviewed that team, and this guy here, everybody's all excited, but he was all down in the dumps. He was down in the dumps because he didn't feel like his championship was 100% deserved, because the guy that was his equal wasn't there. He didn't get a chance to show if he was really the best. And because of that, he was down in the dumps about that. And if I go pull that video up, if I can find it, I'll play it for you. But that just shows you that some people, if it's not something I deserve, I don't want it. These kids nowadays, you get beat 100 points and they give you a trophy for participation. Well, all that does is gives them a false sense of entitlement. You getting something that you did not earn. And we didn't come up with that. Hell, we didn't want a trophy even for second place. If I didn't win it, I didn't want it. And that's the way this guy was up here in Jacksonville. He won the state championship, but he was not happy about it because he did not get to race his number one competitor to really prove that he's a champion. So all these guys out here in the NBA, I think they're more of a entitlement type of attitude. They don't have that championship spirit. It's a participation thing. I play in the league. I get paid a lot of money for it. And we go out here and get a little some flashy looks. But when it comes time for a championship, I don't give a damn if I win one or not. That's today's athlete. But guys like Donovan Mitchell, he's a throwback to our era because he's trying to win, man. And because of that, I expect Mitchell to show up tonight. And I don't know about Steph Curry, but some of these other guys like Ja Morant, they're not going to show up, man. They're just going to get paid and move on. All right. Yeah, Dallas did win the draft lottery, so they're going to be picking the number 1 pick for the first time since 1981. And it's only the second time that they've done that. And with that pick, they pick up Mark Aguirre. Later on, they traded him to Detroit, and he played with Isaiah Thomas, and they got those 2 championships with Detroit. I guess Cooper Flag will be playing there next season. I don't know. Maybe they'll trade that pick for 2 other number 1s. Who knows? Flag will be a great addition, but I'm trying to see how he would fit in down there. It would be an athletic wing man that could take some pressure off Anthony Davis, and then Kyrie come back, and then I don't know if they're going to keep Klay Thompson or not. He's probably already gone. But yeah, they can build around that. So that's not a bad pickup for. That's a great shot for Dallas to turn things around. How do you know they're entitled? What do you mean how I know they're entitled? Look at the way they act. In your 50s and still talking about sports. What a waste. Well, I'm talking about sports because that's what I want to talk about. So if you got a problem with it, go somewhere else. This is a sports channel. This is what I'm interested in. I've experienced a lot of things in life. I'm going to keep on experiencing things. It's just one part of it. I don't have to do this, no. But to do that does not mean it's a waste. So what are you doing that you deem below you now that you used to do years before? I bet you still doing it. You just don't want nobody to know about it. So you can go on somewhere with that. Yeah, I coach. I'm old school kind of coach. You know, we grew up playing all different sports, not no singular level. And we know all the games, and that's just something you grew up with. Okay, bag of mints that's been set on fire to put out with a pitchfork. Yeah, okay. I'll be talking about Ja. Well, I'm going to leave you alone, man, because you're trying to start something. Or you seem to be African, perhaps. Take it how you want to. But anyway, the question is, do you think Tatum is done for the season? I tend to think that oh shit. I tend to think that he's probably going to be done for the season, and I think that if he could play, he would come back. But I expect Donovan Mitchell to play tonight. But anyway, that horn just went off, so I got to get up out of here, man. Tatum is trash. The team has built him. No, he ain't trash. You see the way he played last night. Had he not gotten hurt, he would score about 45, going back and forth with he was going back and forth with Brunson last night. I think Brunson had like 39, and it would have been a great ending if Tatum wouldn't have got hurt. So um, if you think he's trash, then you don't know nothing about basketball. Yeah, the Celtics are legit, but I think they can still compete with him being out, not for a long period of time. So even if they were to miraculously come back and win this series, it wouldn't be able to go much farther than that. But anyway, I appreciate you chiming in, young Sigma. You seem to be the type that want a brain wrestle. That's fine with me. So like and subscribe and catch me on in the mornings, man. JD, Philly, how you doing, man? You guys have a great day. I got to get up out of here. I got to go to work. But Tatum, I think he's done. And I expect to see Donovan Mitchell on the floor tonight. And if he does, the Cavaliers will win. Same thing will happen if Steph Curry come back in game 5. If he's there, they're going to win that game. So that's just my take on that. But if there's no breaking news, I'll catch you guys in the morning. And until then, have a great day wherever you are in the world. This is Sports for Real. I'm out. Oh, by the way, I put the link in the description for that new Discord thing that I started, the forum. We're going to talk about football every day. I hadn't gotten any responses yet, so the link may not be blue. If you just copy it and paste it and put it into the browser, then we can get this discussion going. I hadn't fully figured out how it works yet, but when I do, I'll be sure to let you know. But in the meantime, try to copy that link and put it in your browser and see if you can get in that play. Yeah, he's the best player, all right. The best player of a defunct generation. All right, have a great day. Man, this guy here, John Morant, he falls on his chest, but his hip hurt. He don't want to play. He didn't want to play because he could care less about winning the championship.